It's fairly common in the comic book fandom to put characters with similar skills together to fight one another, and the case of Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic is no different. They are both competent heroes and have had their fair share of impressive feats, especially considering they've been around for several decades. Of course, the main reason these two characters are put together in a fight is because they both have elastic powers. While it's true that they are very different in terms of their roles in the stories, it is also true that it's interesting to theorize who is better at using their abilities and who would win in a one-on-one fight. That's exactly what we intend to find out in this video. We'll briefly talk about each character's history, powers, and abilities to determine who would win if Plastic Man fought Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic first appeared in Marvel Comics during the first issue of the Fantastic Four back in November 1961, with him serving as the leader of the team. He's a super genius and has elasticity powers. Funny enough, considering the context of this fight, Plastic Man was the inspiration for Reed's powers according to Stan Lee himself. Based on this, it's fair to assume that Plastic Man is an even older character than Mr. Fantastic. He first appeared in the first issue of Police Comics in August 1941, and was originally part of the Quality Comics Company, which joined DC in 1956. He's had some solo series and was even a part of the Justice League in the late 90s during Grant Morrison's legendary JLA run, which is probably the character's most popular era in recent decades. Now, this is going to sound a little redundant, but both characters have elasticity powers. That is why this entire battle is a thing to begin with. They have the same abilities, with Plastic Man being a direct influence on Mr. Fantastic. Now, considering that they are both fairly heroic characters and have a strong moral compass, it would be difficult to have them fight one another. The most likely scenario is the good old classic in comics. There is a misunderstanding between the two of them, and this will lead to their inevitable confrontation. The big issue with this battle is the context and how much time Reed Richards has to prepare. This isn't the Batman with prep time argument, but rather that Reed is smart enough to come up with technology that could seal or nullify Plastic Man. Therefore, the nature of this battle is going to be without the time to prepare, because in that situation, Mr. Fantastic has all the resources to win a lot of different battles. However, if there is no time to prepare, there is a very good chance that Plastic Man is going to win. One of the first reasons is that Plastic Man used to work as a thief, so he has a lot of experience when it comes to fighting and stealing, which is something that gives him a lot more know-how and experience while thinking on his feet. There's also the fact that Plastic Man's abilities are a lot more diverse than he's given credit for, and a lot more varied than Reed's version of elasticity. This is a man who has turned himself into a cannon, disguised himself as Harley Quinn in the New 52, yeah, that happened, could turn himself into a dragon, and can also take a huge beating, as shown in several storylines in recent decades, which shows his insane durability. This is very important because it means that Reed cannot predict his movements. No matter how smart a guy can be, when you're facing an opponent with so many variables, it is hard to come up with a strategy to defeat them. Add to the fact that Plastic Man is a much better hand-to-hand fighter, and Mr. Fantastic is not going to have time to react and come up with a strategy. This doesn't mean that they are going to fight to the death, because they are not killers, but if they were to knock each other out, Plastic Man is likely to be the first one to achieve this goal. His elasticity powers differ slightly from Mr. Fantastic's. Plastic Man's elasticity powers are not related to stretching, but rather they give him the ability to turn himself into many different things, which makes him all the more powerful and much more dangerous than Mr. Fantastic. There's a very good chance that many folks out there have Mr. Fantastic as the winner because he is a lot more popular and has a lot more comic book material to reference. However, based on the context of this battle, Plastic Man would win with relative ease. He is a much better fighter and has a wider skill set, which means that he would come out on top. This was a very close poll, but the majority of you seem to agree with us. Feel free to state your case for who you think would have won down in the comment section. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Who do you think would win in a battle between Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic? Let us know by leaving a comment below this video. While you're down there, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and stay in the loop with all of our versus polls. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.